This is absolutely incredible and heartwarming news that has the entire wrestling world celebrating right now. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, WWE's ultimate power couple, just made the stunning announcement that they're expecting their second child together, and what makes this revelation even more special is how they chose to share it with the world through a beautiful social media post that has already garnered millions of reactions and has fans sending an outpouring of love and congratulations to two of wrestling's most beloved superstars. This news comes at a time when both Seth and Becky are at pivotal points in their WWE careers, and the announcement raises fascinating questions about their future plans, potential time off, and how WWE will handle having two of their biggest stars potentially stepping away temporarily. I need you to drop a comment immediately with your congratulations to Seth and Becky, because this is the kind of positive, joyful news that the wrestling community needs to celebrate together. Seth and Becky have been open about how much they love being parents to their daughter Rue, and the fact that they're expanding their family shows that despite the demanding schedule and physical toll of professional wrestling, they're committed to building a beautiful life outside the ring. This announcement reminds us that wrestlers are real people with families, dreams, and lives beyond the characters they portray on television. But before I break down every detail of their announcement, before I discuss what this means for both of their WWE careers and upcoming storylines, and before I share the heartwarming reactions from fellow WWE superstars and the wrestling community, you need to smash that like button if you're genuinely happy for Seth and Becky and want to send them all your positive energy during this exciting time. Because what I'm about to tell you about the timing of this announcement, the potential impact on major WWE plans, and the beautiful way both Seth and Becky have balanced being world-class performers and devoted parents is going to make you appreciate these two even more. Let me share the exact details of how Seth and Becky made this announcement, because the way they revealed this news was absolutely perfect and showed their genuine excitement. The couple posted on social media with a beautiful photo showing their daughter Rue holding a sign that read "Big Sister Rue" with Seth and Becky beaming with joy in the background. The caption was simple but powerful: "Our family is growing. Baby Rollins Quinn number 2 coming 2025. We couldn't be more excited to give Rue a little brother or sister." The photo was perfect, casual, intimate, and showing the genuine happiness on their faces. This wasn't some overproduced announcement or carefully staged publicity moment. This was two people who were genuinely thrilled about becoming parents again and wanted to share the joy with the fans who have supported them throughout their careers. The authenticity of the moment is what made it so touching and special. The reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Within minutes, the post had hundreds of thousands of likes and comments from fans, fellow wrestlers, celebrities, and people throughout the entertainment industry. The wrestling community rallied around Seth and Becky with an outpouring of love that showed just how respected and beloved this couple is. Triple H was one of the first to comment, writing, "Congratulations to you both. Rue is going to be an amazing big sister. WWE family is so happy for you." This comment is significant because it shows that WWE management is fully supportive and will work with Seth and Becky to accommodate their growing family needs. Roman Reigns, Seth's longtime friend and former Shield brother, commented, "Congratulations us. Family is everything. So happy for you guys." This shows the genuine friendship between these two despite their on-screen rivalries. Charlotte Flair wrote, "OMG, I'm so happy for you guys. Rue is getting a sibling. Congratulations to the whole family." Charlotte's excitement shows the close friendships Becky has maintained in the women's locker room. Sasha Banks posted, "Congratulations. This is the best news. Sending so much love to your growing family." This is particularly meaningful given Sasha and Becky's incredible history together in WWE. Even wrestlers from other promotions sent their congratulations. Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose, posted on social media, "Congrats to Seth and Becky. That's awesome news. Being a parent is the best thing in the world." This shows that despite Jon being in AEW, the Shield brotherhood and respect transcends company lines. CM Punk, who recently returned to WWE, commented, "Huge congratulations. Being a parent changes everything in the best way possible." This shows Punk's softer side and his respect for fellow wrestlers' personal lives. The outpouring of support from the wrestling community has been incredible and shows how genuinely like Seth and Becky are by their peers. This isn't just people being polite, this is genuine happiness from people who know them personally and want the best for them. Now let's talk about what this announcement means for Becky Lynch's WWE career specifically, because she's currently in the middle of a major storyline and this news will inevitably impact her booking and schedule. Becky is one of WWE's absolute top stars, a main eventer, a proven draw, someone who can carry storylines and deliver in big matches. Having her potentially step away is significant for WWE's planning. Based on the timeline mentioned in their announcement, baby coming in 2025, it's likely that Becky is in her first trimester, which means she has several months before she would need to take maternity leave. WWE has time to properly write Becky out of storylines in a way that protects her character and sets up a strong return. WWE has experience handling pregnancies for top female stars. We've seen how they handled Becky's first pregnancy, which actually led to one of the most memorable moments in WWE history when Becky relinquished the Raw Women's Championship to Asuka and announced she was pregnant. That moment was emotional and beautiful, and it positioned Becky as a hero rather than someone just leaving. This time around, WWE will likely take a similar approach, finding a way to write Becky out of storylines that honors her character, gives her a strong exit, and sets up an eventual return that feels important and exciting. The key is timing it right so that Becky can finish her current programs and potentially deliver a memorable moment before stepping away. There are several possibilities for how WWE handles this. Option 1: Becky could continue performing for several more months, finish her current storylines, and then take time off by losing a major match and taking time to regroup, a storyline exit that doesn't damage her character. Option 2: WWE could have Becky win a championship before stepping away, then relinquish it similar to what she did last time, creating a memorable moment and ensuring Becky's exit is on a high note. Option 3: Becky could get injured in a storyline attack that writes her off television, setting up a revenge storyline for when she returns. Option 4: WWE could simply have Becky announce she's taking time off for personal reasons, similar to how they've handled other wrestlers' breaks. Whatever WWE chooses, the goal will be protecting Becky's status as a top star while giving her the time she needs to have a healthy pregnancy and bond with her new baby. WWE knows that Becky is irreplaceable and will want to ensure she comes back strong. Now let's discuss what this means for Seth Rollins, because his situation is slightly different but equally important. Seth is also a top star, a former world champion, a main event talent, someone WWE relies on heavily. But as the father rather than the person carrying the baby, Seth's career won't necessarily be impacted the same way. However, Seth has been vocal about being a hands-on father and prioritizing his family. When Ru was born, Seth took some time away from WWE to be present for those early months. It's possible that Seth will do something similar this time, potentially taking a reduced schedule or brief time off around the birth. WWE will need to plan for this possibility and ensure Seth's storylines can accommodate potential absences. The good news is that WWE has a deep roster and can work around Seth taking time off if needed, but given Seth's importance to WWE's programming, they'll want to minimize his absence if possible. Seth might also use this as an opportunity to work a lighter schedule in the months before and after the baby's birth. Instead of being on every show and working multiple matches per week, Seth could transition to a more part-time schedule that allows him to be present for his family while still contributing to WWE. This could actually benefit Seth's character work. Wrestling fans respect performers who prioritize family, and seeing Seth balance being a top wrestler and a devoted father makes him more relatable and sympathetic. WWE could even incorporate Seth's family life into storylines in subtle ways that add depth to his character. Let me share some important context about Seth and Becky's first experience as parents, because understanding their journey with Ru helps us appreciate this announcement even more. When Becky announced her first pregnancy in 2020, it came at a time when she was at the absolute peak of her career. Becky was Raw Women's Champion, had just main event WrestleMania, and was arguably the most popular wrestler in the entire company. Stepping away at that moment was difficult but showed Becky's priorities. Family comes first. Becky and Seth welcomed Ru in December 2020, and both have been open about how becoming parents changed their perspectives on life and wrestling. They've talked about how Ru gives them perspective, how being parents makes them appreciate their time in the ring more, and how they want to be present for their daughter's childhood. When Becky returned to WWE in 2021, she came back with a vengeance. Becky returned at SummerSlam, immediately won the SmackDown Women's Championship, and launched into an incredible run as a heel that showed new dimensions of her character. Becky proved that taking time off for family didn't hurt her career, it actually made her better and more motivated. Seth has also talked extensively about how fatherhood changed him. In interviews, Seth has said that being a dad makes him more focused when he's working because he wants to make the most of his time away from family. Seth has also said that Ru watching him wrestle gives him extra motivation to be the best performer possible. Both Seth and Becky have been incredible at balancing their careers in parenthood. They've worked opposite schedules when possible so one parent can always be with Ru. They've brought Ru to shows when schedules align. They've been open about the challenges of being wrestling parents but also about the joy it brings them. Now let's discuss the timing of this announcement and what it means for WWE's upcoming major events. We're heading into some of WWE's biggest shows of the year: Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and eventually WrestleMania. WWE will need to plan carefully to maximize Seth and Becky's contributions while respecting their family needs. For Becky specifically, she could potentially work through Royal Rumble in January, depending on her due date and how she's feeling, which would give WWE time to build to a strong exit story. If Becky is due in late 2025, she might even be able to work into the WrestleMania season, though that seems less likely given typical pregnancy timelines. WWE will want to use Becky's star power for as long as safely possible while also being respectful of her health and comfort. The good news is that WWE has learned from past experiences and knows how to handle these situations professionally. For Seth, WWE will likely want to keep him active and featured since he can continue working throughout Becky's pregnancy. Seth could potentially be positioned for a major championship run or storyline heading into WrestleMania season, giving WWE a top star to build around while Becky is away. There's also the possibility of Seth and Becky working together in storylines before Becky steps away. WWE has occasionally featured them as an on-screen couple, and doing some kind of power couple storyline could be a fun way to celebrate their real-life happiness while also creating compelling television. Let me address something important: the question of whether this announcement will affect WWE's business decisions regarding Seth and Becky. Some cynical fans might worry that WWE will devalue or depush wrestlers who take time off for family, but the reality is that WWE has consistently shown respect for talent who prioritize family. WWE understands that happy, fulfilled performers are better employees. Wrestlers who feel supported in their personal lives are more likely to give their best work, stay loyal to the company, and have longer careers. WWE has every incentive to support Seth and Becky during this time. Additionally, both Seth and Becky are proven commodities who have made WWE millions of dollars over their careers. WWE isn't going to suddenly forget their value just because they're starting a family. If anything, this might make WWE more invested in keeping both of them happy and ensuring they have long-term futures with the company. There's precedent for this. Look at how WWE handled Becky's first maternity leave and return. Becky came back to an immediate championship win and major push. WWE didn't punish her for taking time off, they celebrated her return and positioned her as a bigger star than ever. Now let's talk about the wrestling community's reaction beyond just the initial congratulations, because the response has sparked some interesting discussions. Many fans are using this announcement to talk about how WWE, and wrestling in general, has evolved and how it handles wrestlers' personal lives and family needs. Years ago, wrestling had a reputation for being brutal on family life. The travel schedule was insane, there was pressure to work through injuries and personal issues, and taking time off for family was often seen as soft or not being committed to the business. But wrestling has evolved, and modern wrestlers are much more open about prioritizing family. Seth and Becky's announcement is being celebrated as an example of this positive evolution. Fans are praising WWE for creating an environment where top stars feel comfortable having families and taking time off when needed. This is good for wrestling's future because it makes the industry more sustainable and attractive to new talent. The announcement has also sparked conversations about the women's evolution in WWE. The fact that Becky Lynch can be one of WWE's absolute biggest stars, take time off to have 2 children, and still be positioned as a top performer shows how far women's wrestling has come. 20 years ago, this would have been unthinkable. Female wrestlers having families used to mean the end of their careers or being demoted to lesser positions. But now, Becky, and others like Maryse, Brie Bella, and Nikki Bella before her, have shown that you can be both a top wrestler and a mother. This is revolutionary and opens doors for future generations. Let me share some speculation about baby names and family planning, because fans love discussing the personal lives of their favorite wrestlers, in a respectful way. When Rue was born, Seth and Becky chose a unique and beautiful name. Fans are already speculating about what they might name their second child. Will they go with another unique, modern name? Will they choose something traditional? Will they incorporate Irish heritage, from Becky's side, or family names? These are the kinds of fun, lighthearted discussions that bring the wrestling community together. There's also speculation about whether Seth and Becky know the baby's gender yet or if they're waiting to find out. With Rue, they kept many details private until after she was born, respecting their own privacy while still sharing their joy with fans. They'll likely take a similar approach this time. Fans are also discussing what this means for the long-term family planning for Seth and Becky. Is this their last child or do they want a bigger family? Both have talked about loving being parents, so it's possible they might want more children in the future. But that's obviously a deeply personal decision that they'll make privately. Now let's discuss some practical considerations about how Seth and Becky will handle their wrestling schedules once the baby arrives. With 2 young children, the logistics become more complex. Touring with 1 baby is challenging enough, touring with 2 is exponentially harder. Seth and Becky will likely rely heavily on family support. Becky's mother has been incredibly helpful with Rue, often traveling to help with childcare. That support system will be even more crucial with 2 children. WWE might also need to be more flexible with Seth and Becky's schedules. Perhaps more video packages and pre-recorded segments when one of them needs to be home. Maybe allowing them to miss occasional house shows. WWE has become more understanding about these accommodations for top stars. There's also the possibility that Seth and Becky might eventually transition to more part-time schedules as their family grows. Wrestling fans are generally understanding about top stars working reduced schedules if it's for family reasons. Nobody wants to see burned-out performers, we want people who are happy and fulfilled in all aspects of life. Let me address the elephant in the room: will this affect Seth and Becky's Hall of Fame trajectories and legacy? The answer is absolutely not. If anything, their ability to balance being top performers and devoted parents enhances their legacies. Future generations will look at Seth and Becky as pioneers who showed that you can have it all: successful wrestling career, happy family, balanced life. They're proof that the old school mentality of sacrificing everything for wrestling isn't necessary. You can be great at wrestling while also being present for your family. Both Seth and Becky are Lock Hall of Famers regardless of what happens from here. Becky revolutionized women's wrestling and became one of the biggest stars in WWE history. Seth has been a multi-time world champion, a WrestleMania main eventer, and one of the best in-ring performers of his generation. Their legacies are secure. Now let's talk about the business implications for WWE merchandise and marketing. Seth and Becky are both top merchandise sellers, and this announcement could actually boost their popularity and sales. Fans love supporting wrestlers they genuinely like as people, and this heartwarming news makes them even more likable. WWE could potentially create family-themed merchandise celebrating Seth, Becky, and their growing family. T-shirts, photo books, or other items that celebrate their journey as parents while also promoting their wrestling personas. This would be tasteful and could be quite popular. There's also potential for Seth and Becky to do media appearances together discussing their family life, which gives WWE positive publicity and shows the human side of their superstars. Morning shows, parenting magazines, lifestyle content, all opportunities to promote WWE through Seth and Becky's story. Make sure you're subscribed to WrestlingNewsCC with all notifications on, because we'll be following Seth and Becky's journey and providing updates as we get closer to the baby's arrival. We'll cover any WWE storyline changes, schedule adjustments, and of course celebrate when baby Rollins Quinn #2 makes their arrival. Drop a comment right now with your congratulations and well wishes for Seth and Becky. Tell them how happy you are for their growing family. Share your favorite Seth or Becky moments. Speculate about baby names. Let's flood this comment section with positivity and love for one of wrestling's greatest couples. Smash that like button if this news made you smile and reminded you why we love professional wrestling, not just for the matches and storylines, but for the real people behind the characters who are living beautiful lives. Share this video with everyone who loves Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch so we can spread this joyful news throughout the wrestling community. This is the kind of story that deserves to be celebrated by everyone. This is WrestlingNewsCC, bringing you the happiest wrestling news of the year. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are expecting their second child, and the entire wrestling world is celebrating with them. We wish them nothing but health, happiness, and all the best as they prepare to welcome a new member to their beautiful family. Congratulations to Seth, Becky, Big Sister Rue, and baby Rollins Quinn #2. The wrestling world is rooting for you.